we can still see the. There you go.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I wanted to start with first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you again for this partnership. It's going very well. We're very happy with the data collected so far. I realized that last time I didn't do a proper introduction of a geospatial unit in FAO, and I thought it could be interesting for everyone to just know what is geospatial unit within FAO. So it's based in Rome in the headquarters, and our mandate is to support all agriculture and environment and crisis response through the analysis of satellite data, with a mandate mostly on land cover, crop monitoring, agroecological zoning, ecosystem restoration, and emergency and resilience. So for the project in Mauritania, it takes in most of those aspects. So I'll explain later. There's some aspect of land cover, or some aspect of agroecological zoning. It's a project can combine those aspects. The goal of the organization and the section is to create reports and research papers supporting the work of mostly of local organizations that will then do implementation based on the findings. So there's a variety of reports that are published quite a bit every year by different colleagues on different countries. It's mostly long-lasting projects, so it will be like some are very very advanced in terms of how much work goes into it, and some are a bit shorter, and some are related directly to emergencies. We had work on. We currently have work on Ukraine. There's a work on the cropland in Gaza, and as well as in Sudan, to see the impact of conflict on agriculture production. So for the case of a project in Mauritania, so it's a hydrological diagnostic for the Valley of Senegal River, in partnership with a local organization called SONADER that works with under the Ministry of Agriculture, and the responsibility is on the irrigated farming within Mauritania. So Mauritania, because of its climate, the agriculture is only in the south, and this map shows the distribution. So in blue we have oasis, which is a very minority in terms of surface, but something very important for local communities in the desert. Like it's a vital production for them. But in the south, you have a distinction between the irrigated cropland in Trarza and Brakna, so in the southwest, and then rain-fed crops in orange for the rest of the areas. The size is linked to the area that are used or potentially used. So the actual rain-fed might not be as big as represented here, because it's difficult to distinguish between during the rainy season for that. So the area of interest of the project is the southwest of Mauritania. So we define the valley, so all the area that is where irrigation is possible. So we defined it as everything below 15 meters above the level of the river. So we take the level of the Senegal River all along the border with Senegal, and then we compare the area next to it in terms of altitude to have an idea of the value. So what we use the waterways for in terms of methodology, so it will be present in multiple aspects. So the final report is a diagnostic. The idea of the diagnostic is to give a lot of to give all the findings and all the recommendations to SONADER for them to increase the diversity of crops, because currently it's mostly rice, and most of that rice is towards exportation, and they want to see what kind of overproduction could be made, and what are the areas suitable for expansion, and things like this, to be able to meet the nutrition requirement of a population. Because while the production of the agricultural production in the area is relatively consequent. There's still a lot of issue towards nutrition for the local population, because rice is not does not bring enough nutrition, and there's not enough variety. So one of the first use of the waterways is to do TIFA detection. So TIFA is an invasive plant that has a big impact on the productivity of crops, because it prevents the water from reaching the areas. In some cases, so in this example in Rosso, it's not very clear, but so if it's towards the end of a rice perimeter, really in the part that kind of evacuate the water, the impact is not as big as if the TIFA is in the first part. But it's something that was identified as a main issue during the field data collection, and because getting rid of it is extremely complex and extremely costly, and sometimes will only last 1 to 2 years in some cases before it comes back. So identifying location of TIFA and their impact on the parameters is very important. So to do so, it's the first time we get to do it, because usually it's difficult to have information on waterways. In most of the work we did previously, we don't have enough precision on waterways, and waterways are sometimes difficult to distinguish on satellite imagery that we have available. So we mostly work with Sentinel-2 with 10-meter resolution, which is not enough to really distinguish the waterways. But thanks to all the work you provided, we're able to get this waterway center line, transform it into point, and then get the values of the vegetation index on those water line. And so we compare this vegetation index. We take it in January and July, because it's the period where the rice has just been harvested. So in theory, the NDVI should be very low. So it's the case in most areas. And the water should have NDVI very low. So everything in yellow in this map shows that the hydricity is good, that it's actually water. But if the NDVI is high, which is the case in those red squares, it means that despite the harvesting of rice, there's still a lot of vegetation, and this vegetation most likely is linked to TIFA. And it also allows to see what they call like sometimes there's loss of water along the way. So some waterways sometimes can go into a small depression on the land, and it creates those pockets of like almost like swamp area where the production of rice will be impacted. Here's the methodology. So really, the UN Mapper project is a key aspect in this methodology. Sorry, it's in French, but basically we use directly the data from OpenStreetMap in the script. Directly we get it from OpenStreetMap, so that it's anytime there's new addition from all of you, we can get it directly, and then we compare this to Sentinel-2 imagery of both vegetation index and water index. And then we classify it to get the data, and then what we provide to SONADER is just the information of presence or absence of TIFA. The other use that was very important for us is towards the land cover map. So those two maps are the map of the same area. In purple is rice crops, but the issue is it's very difficult for the model to distinguish between rice crops and swamp areas. And one way was to add an additional variable to the model, which is distance to existing waterways, so that if any vegetation with a lot of so rice is vegetation with a lot of water presence. So if we detect this and irrigation, then it means it's rice. And if there's no irrigation scheme in the area, then it's more likely to be swamp. So in terms of results, we have thanks to this data, we have a more robust land cover map, especially towards rice fields, which is the main aspect they wanted to detect. and we're able already to do part of one. So it's called Wilaya. It's administrative boundaries. And the first project you worked on is linked to the first Wilaya, which is called Trasa. And within this Trasa, because it's completed, we're able to already produce the first land cover map and kind of look into the impact it had, and it had a big impact on the overall accuracy. Another product is an atlas of infrastructure, so it will be a series of A0 maps that combine all the data we have. So part of it is through field data collection, but a big aspect of it, and something that is very welcomed by Sonader and they're very happy with the result, is the irrigation scheme. To have an inventory of the waterways is very important for them, because most of those irrigation schemes were created in the 70s. There was no GIS data available for them, and most of the maps were project maps. There was no maps of the actual creation, so it was not precise enough for them to use. So just the information of how many kilometers of waterways they have is already an information that they were not able to get up to now, even with field data collection. And then another product is the invasive plant detection. That will also be, all of this will be part of the report. So yeah, I really wanted to thank you all for your contribution, and for the one who will start contributing now. It really has a big impact and was inspiration for other projects. I think gave ideas to some of our colleagues about similar projects, and we were really happy with the impact it can have. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Fabian, for sharing with us how you are using the map that the community is generating. Yeah, this feedback loop is really important, and it keeps us motivated. So we're very happy, and that you are now using it, and that we are contributing, even just remotely mapping. We are contributing to FAO and their mission for food and agriculture sector. Thank you so much, Fabian. And we can have more. If you have questions from to Fabian, please do ask them in the chat. But for now, we will transfer, or we will go over to Hidenori for the quick mapping project. So Hidenori, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Annali, and thank you everyone for your time. And I would like to introduce our new project. So at first, my name is Hidenori, and I serve as Senior Advisor on Geospatial Information at the Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA. I'm excited to introduce our new initiative, the Quick Mapping Project, or QMP. First, let me briefly introduce my organization. JICA is an agency responsible for implementing Japan's Official Development Assistance, or ODA, with more than 2,000 staff and offices in approximately 100 countries. JICA plays a role in advancing the United Nations Development Goals, or SDGs, from the Japanese government's perspective. Okay, so JICA has supported national mapping agencies for over 40 years, primarily through multi-year technical cooperation projects. So typically, these projects last around 3 years, meaning it can take more than 3 years to produce a new map. While these long-term projects are invaluable for building capacity, there are times when maps are needed for urgently purposes within a few months or a few weeks. That's why we launched the Quick Mapping Project to deliver up-to-date maps in as little as 2 weeks or 2 months. To achieve this, we are leveraging the evolving OpenStreetMap ecosystem, including tools like Meta's Rapid Editor. For example, I tested this approach by mapping buildings in the urban area of Aqaba, Jordan. In just 5 days of my spare time, I was able to complete the task thanks to the quality of Microsoft's building footprints in this area. OpenStreetMap and Its tools make it possible to generate accurate, up-to-date maps rapidly, much faster than traditional methods. Fast OpenStreetMap's open data model ensures that when anyone finishes editing, the results become instantly available to the world. And the second, the OSM ecosystem is exceptionally powerful, supported by diverse sectors. In my case, support from Meta, Microsoft, and other stakeholders enabled me to efficiently map the area of interest. Despite these advantages, I've noticed that the value of the data produced is not always fully recognized within JICA, unfortunately. To maximize the impact, we need to better understand the true needs of our partners and stakeholders and explore how OSM data combined with thematic or internal datasets can be visualized to support decision making. If we clarify and communicate concrete reasons for mapping, we can foster greater buy-in and expand the use of OpenStreetMap. This is why we invited our colleagues to join the UN Mappers community, and I am grateful that we are now part of this initiative. I look forward to collaborating and combining our efforts. And we are active in the QMP channel on the UN Mappers Discord, so please feel free to reach out, connect, and collaborate. Thank you very much. So that's all from my side. Thank you, Annalie. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Hidenori, for that, very, lightning, very quick, quick presentation from you.
Thank
So,
you.
but very, so, if you have any questions to Fabienne or Hidenori, we can have, maybe around 2-3 minutes. You can raise your hand, tell us your name and what's your question and which one for FAO or for QMP, please, do. I see Ken is typing. If you'd like to just unmute yourself, Ken. Oh, there. For Fabienne from Ken. Are there existing datasets on waterways and farmlands in Mauritania maintained by the Mauritanian government or FAO? If so, were there any challenges or observations when integrating the UN Mappers data or OpenStreetMap data with these resources?
Okay. Yes, thank you. That's a very good question. So we started initially, yes, with exploring all the existing data set. First of all, it's quite difficult even for the Sonader to be able to get data from like a branch of the ministries. It took a while. What they were able to get is a list of farmers, list of exploitation, but not always with coordinates. Most of the time it would be like names, contact, and the overall locality. There was no, they don't have we couldn't have access to like cadastre or existing irrigation schemes. So it was not available data. And for FAO, so this project in Mauritania is the first in Mauritania since 1974. So we don't have a lot of data other than the data globally available or the data available specifically for Africa. There was no country-specific data.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Fabienne. Oh, maybe Ken has a has a follow-up question. Just saying. Thank you. Any other questions? I do have a question for Hidenori. Is there is there a target geographic scope for the QMP project? What does that look like?
Yeah, thank you. My maybe primary objective or target is maybe urban area, because I am a part of the urban and regional development department. But maybe if I have some more colleagues from inside the JICA, maybe we can follow the theme on the disaster response or other kind of thing. But the main purpose or main focus, the initial focus is urban area. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Hidenori. Any other questions?
Okay, no, I just one comment for Hidenori. Yes, if we want to discuss later on about, let's say, any collaboration, we can do it, as I mentioned, on the Discord server. But nice to see your project and how is, let's say, planning to be. And also, I want to thank you, Fabienne, for the presentation of the whole picture of the FAO project in southern Mauritania. That is very interesting. I mean, for all the volunteers. If I can just take over a little bit, I will just share my screen. Whoop. And can you see like we opened 4 projects when mapping with FAO regarding the agricultural waterways, as Arnelli was mentioning, and one of those is completely mapped and validated, and the second one is completely mapped and almost fully validated. So now we still have 2 projects to be over with the whole areas of interest by FAO. So these are the 2 projects on the southeastern side of the country, basically. Over to you, Arnali, if you were.
Yeah,
you
just
were,
quick reminders. If you have any questions to our speakers, Hidenori or Fabienne, this is your time. And yeah, while you're thinking about that, just a few reminders. Yeah, if you're new to mapping, please sign up for an OpenStreetMap account. I shared it on the pinned message in the chat. And yeah, while you're listening, maybe you've started mapping, but yeah, for validators, if we have validators here, please work on the project 23833 or the project 2. And then yeah, for mappers, new or old, please you can continue mapping project number 23834, which is the project 3. And then yeah, join us on Discord. I think we have lots of Discord question here for this community discussion on the ambassadors. We have a channel, UN Mappers chapters discussion, and then yeah, as Hidenori mentioned, they are also in our Discord. So yeah, if you have any question, maybe later after this Mappy Hour, you can always check the QMP channel on our Discord. And yeah, our learning hub is on maps.un.org/learning. So yeah, those who are already mappers and contributors, please do map with us. Let's help FAO build this open source waterways network that not only FAO can use, but also other communities can use, research and academe. So please focus on mapping project 3. And then for those who are new to mapping, this will be the time that Mikael will be sharing some demonstrations on how to map in OpenStreetMap. So over to you, Mikael. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnali. Thank you all. So I'm just answering to the questions as I see them coming in the chat. So Favor Taiwo is asking whether there will be certificates issued by our learning platform after the completion of courses. And the answer is yes. So whenever you complete courses, we are also releasing certificates, and you can have like badges after the completion of the courses. While for the newcomers that are here, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I want to just to emphasize the availability of the UN Maps learning platform for the educational material that is very useful if you want to start from the very beginning. So you can access it either at maps.un.org/learning or also mappers.un.org/learning. And what you have to do is basically to log in. There are several languages available. So, for example, you can choose French or Arabic in case you want to use your native language. And that's the course that you want to get first is OSM Basics, because it will show you how to create your OpenStreetMap user and how to navigate the first OpenStreetMap editors. So I really recommend this, especially if you are at your first mapping projects. It may not easy to start from complex features, but I mean usually beginners start from mapping, let's say, building footprints that are very easy to do. So let's say it's better to start from these kind of projects. So as Arnelli was saying, today we are going to focus on the project 23834, and basically, as in the previous sessions, it will be about mapping waterways. So if you are a complete newcomer, you will have to create, as Arnelli was saying, your OpenStreetMap account. So you will have to go to openstreetmap.org and you will click on sign up. And then you will have to insert your email, the display name, so the username that you're going to use on OSM, and also password and config password. Then you will receive a mail to confirm. After you sign up on osm.org, you will be able to use also the humanitarian tasking manager website that is a collaborative platform in which we are hosting projects. So once you create your OSM account, you can also log in with your OSM account onto this platform. And then in this platform, you can easily find the project. You can either click on the chat, on the message on the chat that I shared. So there is the link to the project, and each mapping project have like a description about what it is, and we can click on contribute at the bottom right. So once we click on contribute, a very important thing is the instructions. So you will have here very clear and detailed instructions on how to map, in this case, agricultural waterways. So we are focusing on canals, ditches, drains, and also we are covering a bit of land cover, like especially the farmlands. So we are not going into the very detail about what each farmland is for the time being, but you are mainly focusing on drawing polygons where we see some farmlands to be there. Okay, so I see this is the grid of the project. So each map, the idea is that each mapper can take one task, so one little square, and map for themselves. And I can see some lockers here. Those lockers are users that are currently mapping in this area. So we are now scanning the area to see whether there are agricultural waterways to be mapped. So we'll take, I don't know, one random area here, and I can use ID editor to show how to edit, especially for newcomers. So ID editor is the easiest and most straightforward OpenStreetMap editor. It is online on the browser, so we don't have to download any software. If you want to do some more advanced OSM editing, I suggest you to use JOSM, which is Java OpenStreetMap. That is a software that you have to download, and that one contains a lot of shortcuts and it makes your life easier in many aspects of mapping. So I will just click on map selected task after clicking one square. And then the browser will download all the data on OSM and the area that we will be mapping. So you see, in this part we are like in a more desertic area with respect to the ones that are closer to the Senegal River. And we see there is a small village. I can see a residential area that has been mapped. The village is also mapped. It's called the Mareifa. And there are some barriers here. So those barriers are usually to enclose cattle, and they usually determine meadows. So these are places in which the cattle can eat grass and can stay enclosed. As you can see, there is no sign of crops inside those barriers. Those barriers are made by edges, so they are basically vegetation that is closing one area, and they are very common in desertic areas. I mean, we used to see a lot of them in Mali as well, or in Somalia, especially when there are like nomadic populations. So we usually see these kind of structures all over the place. Although we don't see any farmlands, so we don't have to map them. Just to explain a little bit better to the newcomers, what we do is just to click with the left button of the mouse to pan them up, and then with the mouse wheel we can zoom in or zoom out to see whether there are features or not. So now I'm just visiting the area. I don't see anything to map, to be fair here. Probably just a small piece of natural river here. That is not even a river; is like a stream, in my opinion. So I will just map it as a line. So I click on line, and then I click all the vertices that I want to be mapped until a little bit outside my area. And here you see I will have several preset suggestions for the stream to be added, and I will click stream. So there are like several classes or tags that we can assign to rivers that I selected when creating this project. The first one is river, is like a big natural waterway. That is not this case. In this case, it's like a narrow natural waterway. So we click stream. Otherwise, we have also human created sort of waterways like canals that are big. I mean, they are large waterways bringing water to agricultural crops, basically, and drains that are instead like much smaller ones that are used to drain the water from agricultural places, as well as small canals connecting bigger canals. Anyway, in this case, we can see this is like a natural feature because you see that is full of course and going until this lake that is kind of a natural lake. This lake may be there or not depending on the dry or wet season. So for the time being, we just add the stream, and as we cannot see any water inside of it, as because this could be intermittent, we can also click here intermittent, so that you see there will be all these little traits on the intermittent stream saying that this stream is not there all time long, all day long, all year long, let's say. So once we finish with the task, this was the only feature that I had to add. We will click save at the top right, and we can see that we are submitting our chainset to OpenStreetMap. We don't touch anything on the chainset comment, and we just click upload. So by clicking upload, the changes will be sent to OpenStreetMap. So the database is now updated with this little change. And on the tasking manager side, on the project management side, I will have just to say that this task is completely mapped. So I will click yes. Otherwise, I mean, if I don't have time to map everything, I can also leave it not completely mapped, and I will click just no. And then I will submit the task so that the area that I just mapped becomes blue. So that means that this area has already been mapped and is ready for other volunteers to validate. Okay, let me just check very quickly if there are questions from the audience. Not so far. So we'll just continue mapping. We can focus on another area. Maybe I can switch to the east. Oh, sorry. This time I selected JOSM. Maybe I can take the opportunity these very few minutes to see how mapping in JOSM is going to be. So you see the interface is very different. It's more similar to traditional GIS. And here I have much more flexibility to map whatever I want. Like for example, I can see a path that is going here. So the process of mapping is almost the same. You just click on vertices and you can move objects. And in this case, we are in a village, well, it's an hamlet called Ragna. It's on the eastern side of this lake. And I guess these are all the areas that we were saying are like mostly pluvial or because they are far away from the Senegal River, as you can see. And these areas, yeah, maybe also due to rains that are, let's say, putting all the water in this lake. So I can see here by downloading the data from JOSM, I can see one polygon is left here. It's farmland. Well, I'm not sure it is a farmland, so I will just do. I can deactivate the data and see. And you see, like I can spot some regular patterns here, like square angles. I guess, and also here I can clearly see a crop that is, let's say, middle way between a wetland and a crop. So I will take the opportunity to just map also these other farmland here. I mean, at least where I can see the the cropped area. And we also know that this area may not be completely cropped actively because I mean it seems to be halfway within the wetland, so it's like definitely a kind of a rudimentary cropland.
Mikael, if I may
Yes.
excuse, there are questions in the chat.
Yes,
I think Favor and my question is the same. We are, yeah, and I think this was also asked in the tasking manager, but yeah, yeah, maybe just also like in reality, question to Fabian since he has been on the field in Mauritania. Like, yeah, because we see like, you know, the hedges, the enclosed area, and it sometimes they look like there's like very small rectangles that, yeah, kind of look like a farmland. Yeah, is that common or is that relevant to also be mapped in this, in your project? Because yeah, that's I think yeah one of the most common question when mapping this project. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't go in towards those areas. We have another trip that comes because those areas look very different during dry and rainy season. So our first mission was towards the irrigated part where you can still see some of this, but we did see some of those fields, and it really depends. Sometimes it's most of the time it's a way to keep the cattle in one place, but sometimes it can also lead to the opposite, like protecting small crops from cattle moving around. So yeah, it's difficult, and for rain-fed crops, it's very difficult to detect because they will be moving from year to year. But I think it could still be interesting to map them, but maybe with a different. Because in this example, I think it's
this one.
it is used as crop.
Yeah.
Yes, the way that we are mapping in other projects that are, well, especially in Somalia, we can see a lot of them, is, I mean, as we typically map for the peacekeeping missions, I mean, they are more interested in, let's say, delimitation of territory rather than their real usage. So what we do is like to usually as we are mapping for topographic, I mean, 50K scale topographic maps, we are usually mapping the external barrier, like barrier equal to edge, if you want to say that this is like an enclosed area with barriers. And we typically use land use meadow because I know that this is like their, I mean, their usage, especially in Somalia. But I mean, here could be totally different, could be a farmland. And we don't know, like could be either a meadow or a farmland. Anyway, a place I think in which cattle is either enclosed or kept outside of.
Yeah, I think that kind of answers Favor's question as well. If they can be mapped as farmland or mapped as something else. So I think Favor, as Mikael mentioned, you can map it as a farmland if you can see those small, I mean, rectangle if there's a pattern. But if not, it can be left or be meadows. There's a question from Ankan. Is it important to map each and every plot of the farmland based on the gradient of the green color, or you map them as a whole unit?
So you can map as a whole unit. The only important thing is just not to overlap areas, because in that case, I mean, it's not correct. So like if we take this example, for example, if we take an area that is overlapping like this, it's not correct because it should be only one polygon covering, let's say, we have one feature per each real feature in the real life. But is totally okay to merge more crops all together in one big polygon.
Right. So we're actually on time now. I'm not sure. Maybe we can extend around 5 minutes if you have any questions. But those who needs to go, you are very welcome to do so. We just ask for an hour of your time. But if there are other people who still wants to ask, we can extend for 5 more minutes. But if you need to go, thank you so much, and happy weekend. But if you have any other questions, please do ask them in the chat. But let me just take this opportunity to thank our speakers, Fabienne and Hidenori. Thank you so much. We hope to see you again. We hope to have updates again from FAO and also QMP. But QMP is on our Discord. If you want to ask them any questions, just go to the channel QMP. And if you want to ask questions about the mapping project, how to map this and that, just feel free to use the Discord to ask questions, and we are happy to answer them the best that we can. But those who need to go, have a lovely weekend. We do have another question from Ankan, but I think Mikael is already
Yes, I'm answering in the chat.
Answering them in the chat,
like a call center.
I just had I just had one small question for Hidenori. Yeah, Hidenori, you were in the JS section of the UN in 2018, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
We worked together.
Yes.
Yeah. So good
now
to see.
I'm in Tokyo. Yeah.
So Hidenori was part of a team where I first worked as an intern with the UN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
In New York.
Yeah. In New York. Right?
Very small world.
Yeah.
You thought that again. All right, but
Good to see you.
let's see if there's more questions. But if it's fine, you can turn on your camera. have a good, I mean, to have a group photo, if that's fine. Let me just stop the recording. But yeah, if you're comfortable